Sellers / listing agents, you don't need to lie to sell your property. I'll get into that and then the latest home prices and insights for York Region for week ending January 24th, 2024. Lots of you have subscribed. Thank you for that. Many of you that have not yet subscribed, you watch every single week. You enjoy the content, I would assume. Do me a favor, consider subscribing, especially if you enjoy the content. So, sellers / listing agents, you're in the same boat here. You do not need to lie to sell your listing. I'm going to talk to you about a very recent experience I had with my buyer clients. We've been looking for a little while to buy this property, to buy the property that they're after. And although there's certain areas that they're interested in, there's this one brand new subdivision. The subdivision's only a year and a half old. There's still lots of construction going on in this subdivision. And they've seen some other properties there, and for one reason or another, we didn't buy those. But one just came up. And my client sent me the listing. We want to see this right away. So that's what we did. We booked a showing right away the same afternoon. My client's there early, excited, already thinking this is the one they're going to buy. The listing only had 9 photos. You're allowed on the MLS to put up to 40 photos. But this listing had 9 photos. Description was great. Photos, beautiful. So we're excited. We get to the house. We're walking through, and the letdown of my clients, I felt so bad for them. They were really excited about this property. Turns out the photos, the description kind of didn't match that property. This is a brand new, about a year or so old home, high-end executive home, and it's been turned into a rooming house, basically. Every single bedroom had a keypad. The home had been converted where some of its features were no longer there. For example, the laundry was supposed to be on the bedroom level. That's where the laundry was. And my clients know the models because we've seen so many, or they've seen actually before we even started working together, some of the other homes in that subdivision. They know the models. And they're like, where's the laundry room? And that laundry room had basically been closed off from the hallway, reconfigured and renovated to become an ensuite bedroom. So, or an ensuite for one of the bedrooms. So you're thinking, oh, they've got an extra bathroom there. That should be positive. Kind of, sort of. The laundry room is also a great feature to have there. But one of the other bedrooms had no closet because of the reconfiguration also of putting in another bathroom. The mudroom, where you come in off the garage, had been turned into a second kitchen. The office had been turned into a bedroom. I can go on and on. The only thing not touched was the main kitchen, living room, dining room floor, and the outside terrace, I would say, was probably not touched at all. What a letdown. And I'm telling you this story because if we were to buy that property, the way it's described on the MLS, it's not the same property. And I can tell you, I know for sure, the listing agent is fielding phone calls of agents that have bought their buyers there saying, what are you doing? Like, we took time out of our day to go show this property, and the description does not at all match what the house actually is. It's a rooming house. Even though it's new and it's, I guess, an executive high-end rooming house, it's not the same. Realtors, listing agents, you don't have to lie. Tell it like it is and attract the buyer that's what they're looking for. And I say, realtors, sellers, you know this is happening. You're the one that's hired that realtor. Yeah, I'm assuming you're reading your own listing. You know when people show up, they're coming in with one impression and they're seeing something else. And this is not off by a little bit. Sometimes you can color outside the lines a little bit and get creative with your marketing. I understand that. But this is straight out not the home. It makes no sense. You mess people up this way, you frustrate the buyers, and then you wonder why your home sits there. And then you wonder why you know, people have bad impressions of realtors or what they're reading in the MLS. Describe the home the way it is. Otherwise, I'm not sure what you're trying to accomplish in that. If you think this video can help somebody you know, pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, again, consider subscribing. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, it's really simple to reach me. Up here, there's a link to my calendar. In the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Folks, generally speaking, across the GTA, buyers have come out of the woodwork. Sellers, not so much. So we don't see an abundance of new listings, but buyers, there's more showings. There seems to be more intensity in buying. Let's see how that plays out through York region. Here's a quick summary of average sold price for detached properties only. I've got multiple cities on the board here. I got the Durham region, I got Brampton, Mississauga, Toronto average sold price. Then we got Markham, Vaughan, Richmond Hill. Now, Vaughan, Markham, Richmond Hill normally do have an average sold price higher than the city of Toronto average sold price. And when we take Toronto of 1.573 and we take the lowest, which is Markham of 1.694, there's a $121,000 difference between Toronto and the Markham average sold price. But we're talking about York region, so Markham, Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and we're going to start off with Vaughan. This is for detached properties only, broken down by week. I have a year on this board here. For week ending January 24th, 20 detached properties were sold. 3 of those were at $2 million or more. Now, sales, although they've gone up, we expect them to go up. They kind of very similar, one less than what we sold last week. When we kind of look back though, coming out of the new year, we do expect, headed into the spring market, sales, maybe not every single week, but we do expect sales to increase. It's seasonal, we see it every year. So last year, sales went up. Average sold price was climbing all the way to the beginning of the end of spring, beginning of summer. And then we saw a decline, but for many months, even though weekly it's up and down, it kind of seems flat to me if you look at the long-term picture. Average sold price for week ending January 24th, sitting at $1,724,000. 1,724 is basically where the average sold price was a year ago. It's 2,000 less actually than what it was a year ago. And so 0% change. The median price is 6% higher than where we were this time a year ago. 20 were sold, 15% sold at list price or more. 15% may sound like a lot. It's not that much. We're only talking about there's 23 properties sold at list price or more. 51 were listed. So listings are starting to come up a bit. Active listings were trending down. We're up a little bit from the previous week. And months of inventory climbed up a little bit, now sitting at 2.2. But we're nowhere near I guess balanced market starts at 3%. We're sitting at 2.2. Do you consider that being near a balanced market? We're still kind of lower than maybe where we'd like to be if we're thinking more of a balanced market scenario. Here's Richmond Hill. 14 detached properties were sold. Average sold price climbed up from the previous week, almost by $100,000. It's now sitting at $1,952,000. Sales last year went up, and some weeks just up by 1 or 2 from the previous week. So it gradually went up. Average sold price was going up, and then average sold price for a good part of the year since the middle of summer trending down. Sales overall trending down, but now again, we're in the new year, new season, new market. Sales are starting to go up. Average sold price for the first few weeks of this new year, have gone up. 1,952,000 is 4% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. The median price of 1,620 is 16% lower than where it was a year ago. 14 were sold. 43% of those sold at list price or more. 23 were listed. So listings didn't really pick up. We listed 20, then 25. Now 23 detached properties were listed. And months of inventory is coming down. 2.8 months of inventory. We came out of the new year, huge high months of inventory. But that's, sales when you're only selling just a few pieces or a few units, sorry. It's really tough to take around the holiday season. We're starting now to get into our second week, third full week. We're starting to see months of inventory kind of get to where it actually is. So we're sitting right now at 2.8 months of inventory. Here's Markham. 14 detached properties were sold. So we've not seen a big change in sales. 4 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price has come down to $1,694,000. If we look back, sales were going up all the way to middle of summer, and then sales started to come down, and then they stayed flat for a long time. Average prices coming out of the new year were increasing, and then they've spent most of the year since the spring trending down slowly. Well, right now we're sitting at $1,694,000. And I'm talking about last year. I mean, it's a different market, different situation, different attitudes. Attitudes play a big part in where prices are going. But I don't know if the same thing's going to happen this year, but I'm showing you what happened last year. A lot of it is seasonal. A lot of it was because of the market conditions. 1,694 is 8% higher than where we were this time a year ago. Median price is 4% higher than where we were this time a year ago. 14 were sold, more than half, 57% sold at list price or more. So that's 8. 8 out of the 14 sold at list price or more. So somewhat competitive. 38 were listed, and months of inventory is climbing. 1.5, then we went to 2.1. Now we're sitting at 2.3 months of inventory. As months of inventory go up, prices come down. Here's a summary. Look, in many areas, it will feel like a balanced market. But in some neighborhoods, it's going to be more of a seller's market. Maybe not an aggressive seller's market like we're used to, but we are seeing more buyers showing up. We're seeing more showings. We're seeing more offers. We're seeing more multiple offers. We're seeing more properties listed. Excuse me. We're seeing more properties listed with an offer night in mind, with a pricing strategy designed to attract buyers, and buyers are showing up. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.